Okay, I'm gonna make myself either a hot cocoa or a tea for my hot cocoa and tea bar, or coffee and tea bar. Check it out. Okay, and then I'm gonna spill the tea or hot cocoa with you guys. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Deb C, and place to be, it's Deb C. Bloop, bloop, that's me. Boop, Deb C. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Happy Monday. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. As you can see from the video beforehand, I made myself an hot tea, an apple cinnamon hot tea from my coffee and tea bar. Well, actually it's more of a hot chocolate tea bar. So I put some honey in the tea. Oh, it's delicious. It is delicious. So listen, make your favorite beverage, get it ready. We are going to spill the tea. It's on Bravocon. Now you're like, oh my gosh, Debbie, I'm so jealous of you. I normally would not be jealous of you, but I am. You went to Bravocon. I did not go to Bravocon. I spent the weekend doom scrolling, obsessively scrolling and finding updates from my favorite Bravo content creators on TikTok who did go to Bravocon. Would I love to go to Bravocon? I would love it. Walking far distances for me is not a thing, so I would have to figure something out. And there's the flying. I do not foresee myself getting on a plane in the near future. The price is pretty expensive, but listen, I would bite the bullet and I would get like either VIP or the highest VIP, and I would just treat that as like my vacation for a few years. But from what I understand, they're not going to be having it next year. It's going to be back in 2027. And they did that before, where last year they did not have a Bravocon, and then they had it this year. I know they used to do it in New York at the Javits Center, but they had a lot of issues with there not being enough space in New York. And it seems like Las Vegas is a perfect fit for them because there's so much room. And there's so much to do out there. And they probably got like a sweet deal from the venue that they're at right now. Okay, so let's get into it. There is a lot of tea. Okay, so I'm going to start this off because I thought this was like the craziest thing when I saw it happen. But I saw a video of Teresa Giudice hugging Joe Gorga. And I was like, did I take a drug and I'm unaware of it? But no, I did not. And then I saw more videos. Teresa was getting got her picture taken with Melissa Gorga. Louis was speaking with and laughing with Joe Gorga. So apparently they made up. What do I think is behind this personally? I think she's doing this because Teresa's doing this because she wants to keep her job. Now, this past weekend, it seems like they gave updates on just about every single show on Bravo. The one show they did not talk about was Real Housewives of New Jersey. It seems to be that there is just no information for the foreseeable future on Real Housewives of New Jersey. And then on the red carpet, someone had asked Melissa Gorga, what do you make of this? And she said something like, it's very suspicious as to why is this happening now? That's my thought. And I don't think I'm alone when I say I think Teresa's doing this to keep a job. That's what I think. And with all of the news that's been coming out about the financial issues financial and legal issues with Louis, it would be smart of her to do that. Plus, also, if things happen to go south for her and Louis, which this isn't going to last forever. If she doesn't have her brother, then, I mean, who does she have? Okay, so Love Island, the Love Hotel is coming back for a second season. It's going to have Portia from Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's going to have Sonia Rita from Roni, and Heather Gay from Salt Lake City. So that's coming back for a second season. I think that sounds like a pretty good group. And we can guarantee that Sonia Rita is going to be having many margaritas probably. Okay. There was a rumor going into Bravocon that Roni is going to be rebooted yet again. It was going to have a mix of some of the OGs and some of the new cast. It was rumored that it was going to be, listen, I love the thought of each one of these OGs. And I think there was there wasn't a fifth. Okay. It was Luann, Sonia, Carol Radziwill, and my favorite, listen, I'm going to tell you this right now, and this will never change. My favorite housewife of all time is Dorinda Medley. Absolutely will always be, I love Dorinda Medley. So, and Dorinda is now, I'm going to say quote unquote DJ. I don't know that she did a lot of mixing or anything, but I'm going to tell you, for 60 years old, she was DJing at Bravocon. I watched some of it on TikTok Live. She is in amazing shape. Whatever Dorinda is doing, sign me up, because she looked amazing. She had the energy. She was jumping up and down. I love Dorinda. Listen, that cast right there, Dorinda, Carol, Sonia, and Luann. Yes, please. From the newer cast, it was going to be Cy, Aaron, and Jessel. They could take Aaron out of there and I would be perfectly fine. So that was the rumor going in. But then Andy shot that down. He did say that Roni is casted. It's set. The cast is set. And they're going to be filming in a couple months. Now, he did not say who was on the cast, but Cy, Jessel, and Aaron were at Bravocon. And that seems okay to me. If I were to be completely honest, Roni, like the original Roni girls, I would be perfectly fine with having them back, with the exception of Ramona. Do not bring back Ramona. Have it be Dorinda, Carol, Sonia, Luann, and if Bethany wasn't such like a mess, I would maybe say Bethany, but Bethany is kind of a mess right now. I die. Listen, the golden age, I know that they played a game this weekend and they were like, what put Real Housewives on the map? And everybody was like, well, it was the OC because it was the first one. To me, honestly, it was Real Housewives of New York City. Roni, for me, will always be the pinnacle and the best. Like, the OG Ronis, I will always have a special place in my heart for the OG Ronis. And I even enjoyed the goofiness, like the weirdness of Ramona before we found out like who she really is. Okay, speaking of more Real Housewives. So we were hearing about Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Is it going to happen? And it's definitely going to happen. They played a trailer of it and it looks amazing. It looks really good. It is giving me early Real Housewives of New Jersey. And from what I understand, there's like 2 parts of Rhode Island that this could have been filmed in. I cannot remember the names, the cities, but one of the cities that it could have been filmed in, I think it was Newport. And that's like very kind of like upper echelon, but instead it's filmed in the other one. And someone that I was watching a video on that's from Rhode Island, lives in Rhode Island, they were like, no, you don't want it filmed in Rhode Island. It would get boring. It's good that they're filming here. So the cast for Rhode Island is Liz, Rosie, and Liz, it looked like, was giving like HBIC. There's Liz, there's Rosie, there's Jo Ellen. Jo Ellen is the one that can, like, if anyone could be an FBI agent, it could be Jo Ellen, because she can dig shit up. Rula, Kelsey is a sugar baby, and she's like, but the difference with me and other sugar babies is that my boyfriend is very attractive. There's Ash and there's Ashley. Now, Ashley is the only one that's not from Rhode Island. She was on The Bachelor. I'm not quite sure which Bachelor, but she was on The Bachelor. Ashley Padilla, I think, maybe. Also, appearing on Rory. Is that what it would be called? Rory? Rhode Island. Also appearing on Rhode Island is going to be Dolores Catania, who is a friend, who's going to be a friend of, she's a friend of Liz. They're twins. They're like interchangeable. They're twins. And in other Dolores Catania news, congratulations to Dolores, because Dolo finally got engaged to Polly. I guess that means that he is now officially divorced. Okay, so there is going to be a girls' road trip, a housewives road trip. And this is going to be different. They did not announce who's going to be on it, but it's going to be celebrating 20 years of Housewives. They're going to start in the OC, and then they're going to travel across country to the East Coast. And along the way, they're going to stop in different cities where Housewives, I guess where Housewives have been situated, have filmed. And like I said, there's no cast listed on that. Another thing about Roni, he did say, Andy did say, I'm very excited about Roni. And they're going to start filming in a few months. Listen, he said that last time about the reboot, and that was garbage. And that was hot garbage. There were some beefs. All right. So one of the beefs that came up was Madison LaCroix from Southern Charm. So her beef is with Cy from Roni. I guess they were playing a game, and they held up a picture of Cy De Silva from Roni Reboot. And I guess it was something like, say something about this person. And she said, meanest girl I ever met. And Cy came back saying, like, she said something like, I know you think we all look alike, but I've never met you. And it was then someone had put out a picture of Cy sitting next to Madison in 2023 at Bravocon. But then also somebody who was on the panel, I guess it was a Southern Charm panel. I didn't watch the panel. I just saw the clip. I guess somebody from the panel had then said, Madison, I actually shared a cab with Cy, and she was very nice. Another beef was, from what I understand, I had heard that the Southern Charm, that the boys from Southern Charm are kind of having a beef with Southern Hospitality because they're upset at how well Southern Hospitality is doing. Southern Hospitality, I never watched it because I was like, oh, is it just a cheap imitation of Southern Charm? But I might have to go back and watch the first two seasons and then watch the third, possibly. Also, I did not make notes of this, but this did just pop up in my head. So the Valley's going to be returning for season 3. Also, 2 new castmates are going to be joining the Valley. There's Tom Schwartz and Lala Kent. So they're going to be on the Valley. Sheena Shea is probably losing her mind. Between not being asked to go on Dancing with the Stars and not being asked to go on the Valley, she's probably losing her mind. Okay, Andy, I don't remember what it was for, but Andy had called. It might have been, they did something with just all housewives. It might have been for this, but I'm not quite sure. But Andy called Vicki Gunvalson up on stage, and he asked her if she would return to Real Housewives of the OC for the 20th season. And she will be returning to the OC. So the OG from the OC will be back. That's Vicki Gunvalson. Also, they played a mid-season trailer for Real Housewives of Potomac. And Andy never does this, but he paid a house visit to Karen Huger. Karen Huger, did some time for a DUI. This wasn't her first DUI. And so he paid a visit to her to interview her. And they brought her out on stage. She got a very warm reception. Like, she got a standing ovation. I'm not going to say too much on this. I know people were saying she did her time. I don't think she did enough. Like, to me, I don't want to get really fully into it, but drunk driving, to me, I feel like is not punished harshly enough. Like, if you have more than one, I felt like that was just a slap on the wrist. Would I have given her a standing ovation? No, I really wouldn't have. I think anybody who drinks and drives should be in prison. I just do. For life, maybe not, but I would not. I mean, I wouldn't have booed, but I don't know that I would have clapped, and I wouldn't have stood up, is all I'm saying. From everything that I heard, it seems like the cast that received like the most love was Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. That is a given. That should happen. That's a duh. That's a given. From the cast, Mary received like the most love. At one point, Lisa Barlow, I guess, asked the audience, who do you think is behind the leaks? And everybody screamed, you. Everybody yelled you. And at one point, she got booed. Bronwyn was killing it all weekend long on the fashion. And from everybody that I've heard that was there, that had met her, was like, said nothing but great things about her. Nothing but good things about her, Mary, Angie. And I love that for Mary, because I did hear that Mary's son, Robert Jr., he had been arrested again. So please send your prayers and your positive thoughts out to Mary and her family, because that's terrible. Also about Mary, there's that thing coming out. I'm just gonna call it a thing. That program on Mary coming out on TLC. I'm not gonna watch it, because here's the thing. You're out there in Utah. If you want to cover a cult, something that's really like more of a cult, like the Mormon Church, is all I'm saying. Also, on the Lisa Barlow of it all, apparently, according to Angie, Lisa Barlow was going around to fellow Bravo Lebs, and was telling them, like, when they would say, oh, Angie is so nice, Angie was so sweet when I met her, And she's saying, no, that's not her. She's fake. She's really fake. And Angie was like, the only thing that's fake about me is like that. And I love her. I love Angie. Okay. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They brought out the whole cast. They did not bring out, they have 2 new additions. They have Rachel Zoe. It's bananas. Like, I die. I am so happy that they're bringing Rachel Zoe back. Rachel Zoe was on Bravo before any of these other bitches were ever even a thought to Bravo. Okay? Rachel Zoe and the Rachel Zoe Project was there from the beginning. So the fact that they're bringing her back, I love it. She is very good friends with Kathy Hilton. She is always fabulously dressed, which will probably just piss Dorit off, because Dorit has always been like the resident fashionista, but not anymore. There was a lot of love for Rachel Zoe, it seemed like, and she seemed very touched by it. It appears as though she is going through like a tough time. She is getting divorced. She has divorced her husband, and she seemed genuinely touched by it. The other housewife that was not there, and I'm wondering why, Amanda Francis. She is a best-selling author, and I'm wondering why she wasn't there. But it looks like the big thing once again is going to be the crumbling friendship of Dorit and Kyle. But now it appears as though Dorit and Erica are on the outs, which is surprising, but which is kind of surprising given how last season started off with Erica being in Dorit's corner, but then we saw the shift. Okay, let's talk about this though. This is where I'm going to get very heated. Oh, wait. Before we even get to that, I have one last little note. Brittany Bateman was walking around the whole weekend with the unicorn, which no longer speaks. And she was saying that her and Jared Joel are no longer together. He's not here. Or so she thought. I was watching this one guy, and as he was talking, in the background, you could see Jared Joel walk in and check in with guest services. So he was there. He ended up being in the audience. I guess it was for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City panel. And her daughter was there as well. And she said, we are done. We're no longer, her and Jared Joel. She said, we broke up. She went up to him afterwards and she kissed him. So that's a lie. Okay. Let's get into the rant part of this, because this got me so pissed off. Okay. I can't quote everything that she said, but I'm going to tell you this right now. I am done with Sutton Stracke. I am no longer any type of fan of Sutton Stracke's. Here's the reason why. Okay, we all know Garcelle left the show, but despite her not being on the show anymore, she had a large, it was like she was there. So when they started talking to Sutton about Garcelle, and she had said something like, well, first she says, I don't understand why she left. I mean, she left and I called her like 30 seconds later, and then 30 seconds more, and then a minute later, and then I finally and then she announced that she was leaving, and I called her and she picked up and we talked, and I thought everything was good. And then she unfollowed me on Instagram, and Kyle and Erica were like, did she unfollow you or did she block you? And she's like, oh, girl, I don't know anything about, I don't know anything about the Instagram. I don't know anything about that, girl. So, first of all, what do you mean you don't understand why she left? Yeah, I don't understand why she left. She left because she was getting jumped on at that reunion, and nobody, including her very close, supposed close friend, Sutton, wasn't coming to her defense, wasn't helping her. After all those seasons of Garcelle standing on an island with Sutton and having her back, after all those seasons, and then you see, oh, no one has my back. Okay, perfect. Why do I want to stay here amongst people who aren't my friends and who are actively trying to take me down, and nobody's trying to stop it? And I don't understand how she would say, I don't understand. They had, they had, when they had a lunch break, it was the two of them in Garcelle's room, in Garcelle's dressing room. And that Garcelle had talked about it, but now I think about it, Sutton probably wasn't even paying any attention. For her to say, I don't understand, is wild to me. And then she comes out and Sutton says that it's out there that they're no longer friends. And then Sutton says that it was a blessing. It is now a blessing. It is a blessing that we're no longer friends because it helped me get to know the other women. As if that is what was holding her back. What was holding Sutton back from getting to know the other women is Sutton. That's what was holding her back. I'm going to tell you what, Crystal, we all owe, everybody owes Crystal an apology. Crystal clocked it. Crystal Minkoff. Crystal Kong Minkoff. She clocked it. Crystal, you're not watching this, but guess what? You were right. Everybody owes you an apology. And listen, and Crystal and Garcelle they're off the show. And I'm going to tell you what, anytime Crystal pops up on my TikTok, my FYP, Crystal's living her damn best life. She is undamn bothered. And when I see what Garcelle is doing, Garcelle's living her best damn life. She is as unbothered as possible. So listen, Sutton was never a friend. Sutton's a social climber, okay? Garcelle was just a means to an end. Garcelle was a much better friend to Sutton than Sutton ever was. And the only thing that Sutton is interested in is social climbing and getting, being amongst her rich, white, wealthy friends. She's her mother's daughter. She is 100% her mother's daughter. I'm going to tell you what, last season, when Sutton brought her supposed close friend, Garcelle, down to Georgia. Was it Georgia? And met her mother, met Reba. That's when I was like, no, she ain't no friend. Because anybody who watched that show could tell what kind of person Reba is. Yeah. It is a blessing. It is a blessing that we're no longer friends, because now I get to know these wonderful ladies. Yeah. That. So I have upstairs, I have an ornament that says name 'em. I'm throwing it out because Sutton Strack done, she's on the DTM list. Dead to me. I'm no longer a fan of Sutton Strack. No, thank you. You can, in the words of Meredith Marks, you can leave. Also in Sutton Strack news, her house and also Kathy Hilton's house were burglarized while they were at the Bravos. Or while they were at Bravocon. So that happened. Yeah. No. Nope. Crystal was right. Crystal was 100% correct. Okay, so listen, that was the tea that I had dug up on Bravocon. So, if you have come up with any, if you've seen any, let me know in the comments. And also, listen, if nobody told you yet today, you were loved, seen, and heard, please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there in the world so it comes right back at you. Please take care of one another and always spread kindness because it is free. Please be aware of your surroundings. Be smart and safe. Let's hydrate with some water. This is tea, which is made of water. And it's caffeine free, hopefully. And also, know that if you're in a dangerous situation, that Dolly and I are sending our love, thoughts, prayers, and positive energy your way so you make it through. I love you guys. And I'm going to hopefully watch Sister Wives tonight and then make my notes on it. And hopefully I will... I'm not going to say I'll definitely see you tomorrow, because lately I've been doing like every other day. So we'll see. But regardless, everybody have a great evening and an awesome day tomorrow. Love you guys, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye, guys. Bye.